Carl from CWD. At a pond that we did, I think it was a couple of years ago now. Because we said that there's just a bit of, in the frost, turn you around. In the frost, this bit of pipe here, as you can see, they've had a go with some of the sub-sealant, fixing it, but it's not been able to fix it. With it being an active leak, you need to stop it. Ideally, probably replace this bit of pipe now. So I'm just gonna unscrew this, tear that off, slot a new bit of pipe in there. Basically, that's what we're going to do today. And while I'm here, I noticed, with it being winter, people kind of forget about the ponds, don't they? But yeah, this wind has gone absolutely filthy, and I saw this little brush next to the side of the pond, so I thought I'd give it a little clean for him. I've had a little go here just to make sure it works, and it does. So yeah, this type of brush, it pivots on the end, so it kind of pivots round, makes it nice and easy for when you're trying to do that. Just made my foot wet as well, so that's brilliant. So yeah, so as you can see here, put a load of tape around it and a load of sealant, but still got a bit of a, it's only like a few drops, so like every few seconds it drops, so it's not a major catastrophe, but it's still an annoyance. With it being around the back of here, it's a bit of a pain to get to. So yeah, we're going to get that sorted. Make sure you don't lose your little ring. So as you can see here, tons of goop on there, and there's goop on there as well, so it's going to be a pain to remove this bit. Yeah, we're going to have to use a Stanley blade and just remove all this and try and remove the pipe. So just get your blade in. Obviously be very careful with your fingers, because we've got a brand new blade on here. Get that cut, and now that I glued that, so I know that's absolutely that's absolutely solid. It's either the frost has built up when they stopped it and it's expanded and caused a burst, or it's been knocked, or it can be any number of things that have caused it. But yeah, it's going to be a while now getting all this off, so it's going to be a fun job. Never do the Stanley blade towards you. I learned that, 'cause I nearly cut my eye out near Christmas and I got a bit complacent. These are like electrician's pliers. I find these really good for removing bits of pipe. It cost me 36 quid, and the amount of times I've used them for electrics compared to this, it's probably about 10%. But they're really good for getting a good grip on and getting in there. So this was done before the time of MS300. So should be a bit easier, because as we've seen, the other stuff like the silicone that we used to use comes off a lot easier. So that's paid dividend on this occasion. So what we'll do, remove as much as we can of the sealant that's left on there. Just drop the O-ring, so keep the O-rings together there. Try and remove as much as I can. Get it a bit dry, because we get a better bond with the sealant when it's dry. It will cure underwater, but it won't bond as well. Only to use it underwater in an emergency. So that's nice and dry, so I'm going to pop that over there with it facing up like that. And now, I hope this one's as easy. I'll do the same as I did before. Cut the pipe close to where that is. beautiful? That snap right down the middle. So, like I said, this was before the MS300. So thankfully, it's a bit easy to remove. There we go. Beautiful. I'm happy with that. So all that's come off pretty cleanly, none of it's actually stuck to that. What I'm going to do is just going to put a few scores on it, because that'll just mean that the sealant will bond that much better. Obviously don't score your thumb because that'll hurt. Then dry it. We'll score this one as well. Just means it'll bond better, that's all. Okay, so this bit has got a bit of give in it, so I'm going to release that water actually. That's got a bit of give in it, so this doesn't really, it moves a little bit. I suppose I could take it off, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pipe on this bit first, get it screwed on, get goop on it, get the pipe on, and then I'm going to see how far down I need to cut it. Get this screwed on there, obviously not forgetting the O-rings on both of them, and then just get it popped on. So you don't want to put tons of it on, you just want to put enough so it's going to be in contact all the way around. If you put tons of it on, it'll go absolutely everywhere. Yeah, so move your hand and not the sealant gun. You see some people doing it and they're moving the sealant gun and trying to get it all angles. Use the hand that's holding the bit and you'll get a much cleaner application. Okay, so don't forget the O-ring. I've got these black gloves on for a reason, because it's going to be difficult to screw this on without keeping your hands away from it. There, got the bite straight away, I think. On to a winner today. Right, just gotta get this on first. As you can see, it's all squished out. So that means you know that, like when you're gluing pressure pipe together, if it all squishes out like that overall, the whole diameter of it, you know that there's sealant in all that area and you should be absolutely fine. Now, these fittings, just like I have on that one, you want to really screw this on and then put your pipe on, because it's difficult to hold this flange back and have enough pressure to push the pipe on. So I'm going to get that screwed on. Oh, don't forget your rubbers, make sure they're clean as well, because if they're all gritty they won't actually work. Okay, so I'm going to lift this up a bit because this can be slightly suspended. You can see that. So I'm going to cut the pipe a bit lower and then I'll just be able to push that up into it. So I don't want this pulling down, so if anything I want this to be a bit longer so it's kind of pushing up. So that's going to be there. So I'm going to make my cut here. Go. Right then. So what we're going to do now, it's a bit harder to get it on these Wazi ones. Get it on, give it a bit of a twist. And I've got these little bits of wood just to wedge it up. Alright, so just to make it look a bit prettier, because the excess sticking out isn't going to do anything, is it? You can just give that a little smear. It looks a bit nicer, doesn't it? And if there were any little bits where the sealant wasn't completely pushed in, now there will be. And be careful with this because don't get it all over the UV. So it's looking rubbish. I've just squatted on a wet bag as well, so I've got a wet bum all day now. Brilliant. Oh, I have as well. That's horrible. Don't squat on wet sandbags. So yeah, now it looks a bit of a neater finish, looks nicer, obviously better than a load of tape round it and all that nonsense I showed before. So now the temperature is above 5 degrees, best leaving it for a few hours, just a couple of hours, 2-3 hours maybe, and then turning everything back on. So they've got an outdoor switch box here, so they're just turning both back on. I've closed this bottom slide valve for the Tempest. That's to stop the water coming back through and siphoning through this. So in 2 or 3 hours I'll tell the customer, turn it back on, and then leak should be fixed. Yeah, so not too bad that job. Pretty easy really, just replacing this bit of pipe. Nothing too technical. It's being wedged up by this bit of wood now. So this is so the customer can control the waterfall or to the return. So in summer they have the waterfall on. At the moment that's shut off. So yeah. So this pond's just got UV, Tempest, and inside is a Pond Expert valley pump. The only reason it's got a valley pump is it was that year when there was a shortage of EA valley pumps. We also did a custom glass splashback. So yeah, you can see it's a piece of glass. It's actually been cut to shape and size. That's just to protect the sleepers at the back, and the waterfall's glued down. So it's not screwed down, it's actually glued, and it still feels pretty solid, so that's pretty good. So yeah, looks like it could do with a clean, so I'll let the customer know once everything's back up and running in a few hours. I probably need to do a clean, just clean the window. You can see the fishes through it better now. It was all manky before. So I'll let her know, clean the Tempest, and then, because I've just cleaned the window, all these little bits of algae are floating around the pond now. There's 2 nets on there because they have sent me a few pictures where there's been a herring. So there's one down there, it's on these little hooks. That's the one we originally put in, and then the customer decided to put this one on the top as well. Just so it's got, there's like 3 levels of protection now, so it's got the glass, it's got the nets. So chances of herring getting the fishes are minimal on this. Yes, with that net down there, you just pull it tight so it's not hanging in the water. And then this one at the top comes over. And she's just copied what we've done, but she's put some big dock off heavy duty things on there. A few little ones that we probably left. So yeah, I'd probably trim that, make it look a bit nicer. But yeah, looks alright, doesn't it?